Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin, the dawning of a new era. So if you guys like the content, please subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Let's go ahead and jump in. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the minimum, maximum, and average price of Bitcoin annually since 2010. So that's the chart you see here. This first chart shows the average price of Bitcoin if you were to average it over every day of the year. So we're taking into account daily data, not hourly, not minute, just daily closing prices of Bitcoin and averaging those over each year and then plotting that to try to identify any trends. Now, of course, some of you may say, well, how useful is this? Because there's obviously going to be a large deviation. If you plot the standard deviation, you can see this is what you get. For those that don't have a lower bar, it is because it essentially runs the gambit there. And those are because those were the years of massive bull market. So 2011 does not have a lower error bar because it would completely cover the entire thing. So I just left it off. Same thing in 2013, another bull market. So bull in 2011, bull 2013, and then in 2017 another bull market where we don't have the lower bound on the lower error bar there. So now what we want to look at is, okay, we have the average price, but let's also get a little bit more information. What is the minimum price each year? Because that can also tell us a useful story, and we're going to go through these numerically in a few minutes. So the white line shows the minimum price annually for Bitcoin. You can see that it generally goes up. And in fact, there's only been one time in history, as measured on an annual basis, where the minimum price of Bitcoin from one year to the next went down. And that was from 2014 to 2015. The minimum price actually decreased. You might say, how does this make sense? Because in 2017, we had a $20,000 Bitcoin or so. Well, we're talking about the minimum price, and in 2017 we also had a Bitcoin price that was lower than $1,000. So this is just looking at the minimum price, and you can see that it is more or less monotonically increasing, except for this 1 year where it went down from 2014 to 2015. We can also look at the maximum price of Bitcoin annualized every single year since 2010, and it tells a slightly different story. So we come up and then we come back, and then up and then back. So essentially we have these periods of expansion and contraction. But if we first look, just so you guys can see it numerically, what are the minimum prices any given year, the maximum and the average? Now, some of you might say, hey, this isn't the minimum price of 2020, because we know that it went to $3,800 or $3,900. It's daily data. Okay, it does not care about wicks. It's just daily closes. So don't worry about it, right? I understand. Even if you did use hourly data there, you would still be at like 38, 3,900. So it still wouldn't change the general trend. But in general, you can see that there's only been a few years where we were not increasing. So the only year where the minimum price as measured annually was not increasing was 2014 to 2015. For the maximum price, we've had multiple years of decreasing values. For instance, 2013, the maximum was 1151 or so. 2014, the max was 934, and then 2015, the max was 461. So 2 years of descending values. And then in 2017, it was 19,000. Then we went to 17,000 in 2018, around 13,000 in 2019, and so far we're at 17,000. Or approximately almost 18,000 for 2020, which means we are going back up. We know we're going back up because even if the price were to go back down, we're only looking at the maximum value. And then the average value, note that the minimum, maximum, and average are still theoretically subject to change depending on how we finish the year. You can see that the average value generally increases. There's only been 2 times in history where it didn't. From 2014 to 2015, it did not increase. It actually was cut in half approximately. And then in 2018 to 2019, the average price dropped a couple $100. But more or less, you can see how well Bitcoin has performed over the last decade. So it'll be interesting to see, over say the next 5 years, once we start filling in more years, where is this going to take us? You can already see we've started at 17 cents, and $6 and $8, 189, 526, 272, 565, almost 4,000, 7,600, 7,400, 9,700. Where are we going to be next year? Will the average price be over 10,000? Will it be over 15,000? Will it be over 20,000? We don't know, but make sure you subscribe to the channel to tune in. We also are basically see these areas of expansion and subsequent contraction. And what I'm arguing now, as we talked about, we've shown this chart many times, is we're theoretically at the beginning of Bitcoin, the dawning of a new era where we have another expansion phase over the next several years where the minimum, the maximum, and the average price should more or less be going up. Obviously, I can't say if they're going to go up every single year monotonically, but over the macro scale, or at least over the next few years, I anticipate we will have another phase of expansion in terms of the average, minimum, and maximum prices of Bitcoin. We also can project forward and say this is, we might expect something like this, a phase of expansion followed by contraction. Okay, if you look at some of these moves, you can see that the maximum price, we came up 1 and then back. And then the next one went up 1 and then back 2. This one came up 2 and then it came back 2. Maybe this next one will go up 3. So maybe 2020, 2021, 2022. Maybe it'll go up 4. I don't know, but we're just projecting out, trying to get an idea of where we might be headed. And following another expansion phase will come a subsequent, likely, contraction phase. Now, if you plot the maximum minus the minimum over the minimum multiplied by 100, not that it's important, but just to get in a percent, you see this general downtrend. So we can tell that annualized volatility over the macro scale is decreasing. And if you wanted to get an idea of when might it get, a lot lower, well, by the year, if this trend continues, by the year 2046, 2047, we might have annualized volatility that's capped at 100%. You can see this year we're just over 200%. Even in 2020, this is great. We started the year off less than 10,000. We're now at 17,000, so we're at a little over 200%. If we ever come back up to these areas, that would be quite impressive. But of course, it also depends on what the minimum it is. The lower the minimum is, then the larger we can go the larger the percent difference can be in any given year if we have a rally that year. So over the macro scale, over the next 2 decades, we may expect the volatility of Bitcoin to continue to reduce, where by the year 2046, the maximum that we might expect it to move would be 100%, but in reality, the maximum it might move might be 10%, 20%, 30%. I highly doubt in 20 years, 25 years, we're still going to have, Bitcoin price moves of say several 100% in a given year. It'll just be the asset class is maturing, and which will be a good thing, right? This would be a good thing, and hopefully the early adopters who are getting in, in before 2020, even in 2020, and maybe for the next several years, depending on where the risk is, of course, and if we're in a bubble, can benefit from where the price of Bitcoin is. So if you guys like the content, please subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up. If you let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. Do you think we're entering into a new era of the Bitcoin price? Do you think we're going to generally head up over the next several years? I will also remind you that if you want access to the premium list, you can sign up to that at intothecryptoverse.com. You'll get access to weekly reports, weekly videos that are premium. They're not published on the public YouTube channel. Also, TradingView indicators. You'll also get access to Telegram alerts channel and a private Telegram chat room and a risk dashboard, which is what I use to trade. And you can pay for 12 months with crypto and get a discount. You can also pay with fiat for 12 months if you want to, if you just follow here and then check the yearly subscription. But if that's not your thing, that's fine. Please at least subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up. I'm almost at 50,000 subscribers, so I think I should get there hopefully within the next 24 hours. So thank you guys for subscribing to the channel, and I will see you next time. Bye.